Hey, my name's Karsten. I'm 19 years old. I live in Dayton, Ohio in my parents' basement. I drive a 2004 Buick LeSabre, and I'm trying to build a business from $0 to $1 million in 12 months. So far, I've been outreaching to other entrepreneurs and seeing if they can help me out in any way. This is day negative 29. Okay, so I did get some messages yesterday from people. One guy sent me a whole bunch of voice messages, so we're gonna look over that, look over what everyone sent me. So I've got a call today, later on today. I've got a call, I think tomorrow, maybe, and then a call Saturday. And so yeah, we've got some info. We've been able to contact people, which is awesome. So it's actually working. Let's go. My name's Karsten. I'm 19 years old. I live in Dayton, Ohio in my parents' basement. I drive a 2004 Buick LeSabre, and I'm trying to go from $0 to $1 million in 1 year. This is day negative 30. This is day negative 24. This is day negative 23. This is day negative 20. Good. Alright, that's thing number 1 done. Next, we're going to go over messages. Alright, so we have Luke Alexander. Okay, I haven't listened to these yet. I just said, hey, thank you. Good job. Okay, so the questions I asked him were awesome. That's not a question. Who are you and what do you do? How did you get started? How did you get to where you are now? And what advice do you have for anyone just starting out? Where should they start? Okay, so that's the questions. Obviously, that helps me understand where should I start, because I'm the person starting. So here we go.
And I do e-commerce. I have 3 stores that I run that I'm partnered in, and then I coach people to redesign their minds to actually get the results they want, because everything comes from the mind, and it's just the most important thing. And if you don't have your mind aligned with what you want to achieve, it will take a long time if you want to achieve something, because people are wired a specific way, and that usually doesn't work with whatever they're trying to achieve. So that's what my passion is. That's what I help people with, and that's my coaching business. And how did I get started? Well, 6 years ago, I started reading some self-help books. Wanted to buy myself a Lamborghini before I ended up high school, but that didn't end up happening because I was just wrongly or badly wired. So that was just too far out of reach. How did I get to where I'm now? Just learning business strategies and learning how to actually redesign my mind. And the second part was the harder part, and that came about because I got so depressed in the military that I had to find some way to actually get out of that. And I found it through meditation, and then I discovered all these things and started learning so much about personal development. Kind of like a quote-unquote spiritual path from there that actually just led me to understanding the mental aspects of everything and how your mind is programmed. It's kind of like woke up from the matrix, or the first level of the matrix at least. So for you, the advice for starting out would be to actually find some kind of business that you would enjoy doing, like something that you have some kind of passion in, something that you would do even if you didn't get any results for the first year even, and then focus on that only. Don't chase, shiny object syndrome is the worst thing ever. You need to choose what you're going to do and not change that. So make that decision quickly, but also make sure it's the right decision.
Okay, cool. So choose something that I would like to do even if I didn't get paid to do it. Good stuff. Thank you, Luke Alexander. Apparently he does coaching, so check him out. Thomas Worth. Okay. So I asked him the same questions, and he just responded with a text message. I was traveling the world for about 4 years and was working online to help others build their online businesses. Once I was back in Australia, I decided to really scale my business. Showing up every day, man, putting in the time, taking courses, and enrolling in programs to learn everything I could. When I wasn't getting the result I was looking for, I started developing my own strategies and techniques and really started connecting with people. those just starting out need to be aware of the commitment and the grind that creating an online business takes. You can come into this at 50%, has to be more like 110%, and you've got to be dedicated. Hope this helps a bit, man. Okay, cool. So that's all the messages I got so far from those people. Delicious. Oh, that's hot. Okay, I'm done editing. That took a while. It's 6 o'clock now. I know it's late and I haven't really done much. Well, it feels like I haven't done much. But I kind of want to give a backstory as to everything that's happened so far and how I got to this point and how I'm able to do this, I guess. So how I'm able to like take on this project and like try this experiment basically. This basically is what we're going to talk about in a second. In March of this year, I just got onboarded to a new job. It was at Spectrum. If you don't know, Spectrum is like a internet service company. I had a job at Apple as like an Apple employee, like what was it called? Backstage, which is basically like a warehouse job. Wasn't anything special. And then at Spectrum, I was doing like door-to-door sales. I had just gotten hired on to Spectrum. The day I was supposed to go in was the day that quarantine hit, and they said like no one can go anywhere, and so I wasn't allowed to go to the work. And so during the month of April, I got to sit at home and do absolutely nothing, and I got paid from both jobs, so it was really nice, you know. Making more money than ever just sitting at home, which is really fortunate. I thank God for that moment, because it's like there was so many people like losing their jobs and, you know, terrible things happening, and I like for some reason I got blessed, and I thank God for that. But towards the end of April, I wanted to like, I didn't know how long this quarantine thing was going to last, so I was like, well, let me try to start something while I have the free time. So like, instead of working 2 jobs, why don't I just try to do something on my own? So end of April, like the beginning of May, I decided to start trying to do something, try to get a business started. So I already like tried to start a business, and I was just trying to figure out what problems people had and like how I could help. I was just reaching out to anyone I could about helping them make content or make videos or whatever. Because I mean, I do that already, and I already knew how to do that. So I figured, well, let me try to help other people who don't know how to do that, help them do that. So I was just reaching out to anyone I could, asking them, hey, do you need help with blah, 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 blah. I reached out to several people, and a lot of people replied, and like I got some responses, some calls. I got some calls with people, but didn't really go anywhere. But thankfully, like I think it was just like a lucky thing. But someone did respond, and they said like, yeah, can you help us in some way? And so we got on a call. I think I sold myself pretty well. I basically had them as a client, starting at like $1,700 a month. And so what I was basically doing was taking all their Zoom videos, making them into like short form videos for Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, creating just content for their social media platforms, so that something was going out every single day, if not twice a day. So yeah, I started doing that in the middle of May. I was able to we kind of made a deal of for at least 3 months we were going to do this, and the pay was going to increase for the 3 months. And so the day that I made that deal was the day I was supposed to go back to my job, like the day quarantine was up. So that was like the end of May. So I think it was actually May 31st or May 28th, something like that. And so I just didn't go back into work. I returned my stuff, and then I didn't go back. So that was really cool. And so I had a client for the whole month of June. It was really awesome because I got to go to Maine, because my mom she's a nurse, and so she was working as helping with COVID in Maine, helping the hospitals up there. And it was on the beach, so I just got to sit up at the beach and work from my laptop, and it was really cool. It was really fun. So I worked with them. The pay increased and stuff, but I didn't really reach out to anyone else. I got more and more work as the pay increased, so I had to do more stuff doing Facebook ads and learning how to do other ads YouTube ads, writing all the copy, learning more stuff and doing more stuff, which was really good because I got to learn more stuff, and I got paid just to learn things that I already wanted to learn. It was still cool. So like the pay increased and my workload increased, and so I didn't really like have a lot of time just to get more clients. And then it kind of turned into me as an employee, and they didn't look at me as like a subcontractor, but sorry, I burped. But me as a employee of theirs. Yeah, so I thought it was going to be like, hey, I get this client and it was cool, and then I was like, okay, well, let me get more clients. But then that never happened. And so I worked with them for a while, and I was more like just trying to create my own business, but you know, they were looking at me as like an employee. So they said that we should part ways, and so then I had to leave that company, I guess. Because I guess I was an employee and like they fired me. During that time, I actually found another way to kind of like make money online, and it's not like a lot of money online, but it's enough to cover my expenses that I have. And so now I can take on this endeavor, and I can like I already have enough money to like last me for the next 12 months without making money online, right? Without making a single dollar. I just can't lose any dollars, I guess. I have enough to, you know, do that for the next 12 months. But obviously you don't really want to go backward. Like the savings account, I don't want it to like dwindle down into nothing over the course of the next 12 months. Hopefully, obviously, I'll be making money by the end of the year, next year. Dang, this is gonna take a while. But like, just in case, you know, I have it there. So I basically like was able to kind of retire. I know there's a movement called like the FIRE movement. I've been able to make a passive income stream so that I don't have to get another job just to stay afloat, you know. It's enough to cover my expenses and then some, so I can save it just a little bit a month, and I can not have to worry about my savings account getting lower or anything. So at the end of the year, I can have even like more money in the savings account, even though I didn't really work at all, or I didn't make any money through like this business that I'm trying to do. So the way I do it is through this app called Solo. Okay, it's this app right here. So Solo right there. Boom. With this app, everyone that I've told about this app, they loved it, and they were like, hey, I want to get a part of this. I want to do this. This seems really cool. The call that I'm about to go on, the one I was telling you about, with the guy who does Facebook ads for orthodontists. The only reason he wants to get on a call with me is because I told him about this. Basically, with this app, you just lend money to people. They give you a tip for lending them money. The loan is about for 2 weeks long, and then they repay you after 2 weeks. I've lent a total of $38,000, $405. Now, I don't have $38,000, but that's how much in total that I've lent out. Throughout the months that I was, in quarantine and with the business, with this business, I was staying very lean and very frugal as much as I could. I didn't buy a whole bunch of fancy things that I wanted. And so while I was like, in quarantine or working with this business, I was able to save a lot of the money that I earned. By saving that money, I was able to grow my savings account. Obviously, through this app on Solo, you need money to lend. Obviously, like this guy wants $350. The max the loan can be is $500. And the max the tip can be is 12% of the loan. So like if I have a $100 loan, I can ask for a 12% tip, which is $12. You need obviously money to lend to people in order to actually make money through the app, obviously. I had like $12,000 available to lend to people that I didn't need. That I didn't need. I'm gonna kind of break down how the math works. If you look at my computer here, I have this tracking sheet of all of the loans that I've given out over time. So I have all these, so all these people, all their names, the date I did it, how much it was for, the protection plan. I won't go into too much detail about all this stuff, but I just have this sheet that I created to help me track all this stuff. And I make about 10% every month, and that's how much I've made over the course of time. And it's only been like a couple months, probably 2 months that I've been doing this, and that's how much I lended so far. So I make about 10% return on investment every month. So that means if I have $12,000, I can make $1,200 a month, right? And my monthly expenses are $702 a month. So I track all my expenses, and this is what I did during like working with that company, and this is how I saved so much money, because I tracked everything and I knew everything that was going in and out and how much was supposed to go out, and so I could set goals and budgets for myself. I tracked my expenses so that I could save a whole bunch of money. With that money, I was able to lend out a whole bunch of loans to people. Yeah, that's how I did it. That's how I got to where I am, and that's how I'm able to do what I want to do. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I recommend anyone to do it. if you have like a savings. It's way better than the stock market. If you want information about how like I specifically do this, so like all the details of like what I look out for, how I approach everything, how I make sure that I'm not losing any money, you know, I have a lot of like tips and tricks basically. If you want in like in-depth full video of all that, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to make a video for that if you want to see it. But that's basically how I did it. Hopefully we can get on this call with this guy and get some information out of him, figure out how he got to where he is. He makes about $30,000 a month doing Facebook ads for orthodontists. So I want to figure out like how he got to where he is, if he can help me out in any way, and we can go from there.
It's like sticky paper, but the material's like a picture.
What?
So it's like you peel it like a sticker.
Keaton just sent me a link to Zoom, so I'm about to get on the call. Food book. Let's hope this goes well.
Like, you're being for real. I can make an extra $1,000 a month just while I'm sitting on the toilet.
Dude, everyone I tell this to, they're like, no way. So like from the process of getting started, how did you get to like where you are now? So you went from like, you learned digital marketing, and then I'm pretty sure you asked someone, or like, did someone tell you like, hey, orthodontists are good because no one, targets them? And you're like, yeah, that's actually a good idea.
It's just like a friend, like my best friend from high school, just like mentioned it offhand one time, and I was like, sure, let's try it.
How were you able to like get in front of orthodontists? Because like I feel like getting in front of people is like the hard part. Or like when I try to message people on LinkedIn, not even trying to sell anything, I'm just trying to ask people like, hey, like, how did you do whatever you do? Yeah. Seeing like what other people's problems are, because like that's the whole thing. You're supposed to find out what other people's problems are, and I can't even get that. So like, how did you, one, like figure out what the problems are, and then two, like get in front of more people?
Yeah, I think just like everybody's kind of got their own connections. So I had like a roommate that was really in love with this orthodontist's daughter. And then, so I like asked him for her number, and then I texted her and I was like, can I talk to your dad? That was one of the first ones. And then you just kind of have to like kind of intuit, like, is Facebook going to be better for this person, or LinkedIn? Or like, in the last 3 months, I've been on like 3 calls with like multimillionaires, and they were all free, and they were like consulting calls. And the way I did it for the first one was like, I was like, hey, I went to the same college as this one guy. Like, I'm going to email him and just say like, thanks for your YouTube videos. Like, do you have any quick advice for me? Just kind of like make a friend, And he's like, yeah, I'll have a course for free. So then we started talking, and then finally we just like had a consulting call and chatted like a few months ago. Like, think about what you can do to make somebody else's day easier, like do something cool for them or whatever it is, and then you're going to win their respect, and then you'll be able to call that favor in down the line. But do it without expecting anything in return. Like, just keep serving, and then eventually you're going to be on calls. If you were your own employee, would you fire yourself? You need to ask yourself that question every single day. Like, do you actually like, are you actually doing what you're doing? Yeah. And then the second one is like, every day you're like, there's a pilot you, and then there's a plane you. So you're the pilot and the plane. And when you're the pilot, that's when you're planning. That's when you're like strategizing. That's when you're doing all that stuff. And when you're the plane, like, all you have to do is fly. Just sit down and fly. Like, don't worry about, like, you don't have to go, like, figure out which way you're going to go and all this stuff. And so you can potentially get caught in the, like, being 80% pilot and 20% plane instead of 5% pilot and 95% plane, which is what you need when you first start out. Like, you could sit down and plan for an hour, or you could plan for 15 minutes and take 45 minutes of action. So the reason I can't tell you how to make $1 million is because I haven't. I have to earn that knowledge. And I think something that you get when we talk, like, you get caught up in, okay, I watched this in a course, therefore I know it. Like, no, you don't know it. You've studied it. Earned knowledge is, I know how to make $1 million because I've done it myself. And so don't confuse those two. Like, just because it's true in theory or some guru told it to you, like, go prove it yourself, and you're going to find like the nuance, and you're going to earn the knowledge. There's another thing Josh Harris said. There's no such thing as $1 million idea. There's just $1 million execution. So it's just action, man.
Okay, I just got off the call. It was really good. He had a really good knowledge-based stuff that I can use basically just take action. I'll put a link in the description of his YouTube channel. Really nice guy. Thanks for your help, Keaton. I don't even know how long I was on the call for. It's like an hour. I think I just held him up for way too long. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's almost 10 o'clock. Time for me to go to bed.